Hello everybody, Zachary Fruling, aka Cozy Azeroth here. Today I'm going to be checking out a program from an old TI Basic Texas Instruments TI-99 for a cassette that I used to have when I was a kid. The cassette was called Oldies but Goodies Games 1. So I think the idea was there were some classic games, more or less. There was some weird stuff on there like the Biorhythms program I did a video on some time back. But I'm going to do Tic-Tac-Toe today. I thought I'd skip the type-in programs and just dive right into a cassette program. I used to really enjoy this cassette, although my memory of it is pretty thin at this point. I haven't looked at this since I was a kid. So I'm going to load it up. I've got it saved in disk 3 in the Classic 99 emulator. We don't need extended basic. We'll get into regular TI basic. And let's just load it up. Old disk 3, Tic-Tac-Toe. And let's see what this is like. I truly don't remember this. I know I played it when I was a kid, but and I remember enjoying it. And it's just a tic-tac-toe game, so nothing fancy. I think before I run it, I'm going to list out the program, just for completion's sake. And let's see what we're going to end up with here. It's probably a long program. Of course, you know, I might have taken the time to list this out when I was a kid because I was interested in TI Basic as a kid. But I have not looked at this probably since circa, you know, late 1980s. Let's call it 37, 38 years ago, somewhere in there. It'll take a minute to list out this program. I'm sure it's a fairly large program. It took a minute for it to load off the virtual disk. You know, what I like about these simple games as a budding game designer, I like the elegant simplicity. You know, Tic-Tac-Toe sounds like a simple game, but if you challenge yourself to make the coolest or most elegant or simplest or most minimalistic Tic-Tac-Toe game possible, you realize that even a simple game is quite a challenge from a game design standpoint. I mean, look at all the code that had to go into programming a fairly simple Tic-Tac-Toe game. Randomized, so that's good it's randomized. I try not to criticize other authors' code. Every programming project seems to have its own challenges, and sometimes you just got to get things out the door. If it works, it's good enough. Even though I'm kind of veering into modern game development, started learning Godot, for example. I just completed a retro game in Pico 8. It's a retro 8-bit style Dragon Ball Z themed fighting game called Frieza's Fury. And it's available on itch, but we seem to have problems with it not showing up in the search results. So I have a email out to itch to figure out what's going on there. But in any case, you know, it's fun to have completed my first game. I've done some simple, very, very simple games and some other retro programming projects, some other simple programming projects. That was the biggest thing I'd ever programmed. And done about 2,000 lines of code. So it was a lot. And this is not 2,000 lines. This is, you know, looks like not about 400 lines. We're counting by 5 here, so. All right, we're creeping up on the end of this program, I think. Some subroutines. This is a long TI Basic program. Okay, that's the program. Let's go ahead and run it. Tic-Tac-Toe from Oldies but Goodies Games 1, a cassette I had when I was a kid. And of course I'm doing this in the Classic 99 emulator, not on a real TI-99 right now. Just easier to stream with an emulator. Although I do have a working TI out there. Okay, let's see. Let's get some screenshots as we go here. We're still loading, still loading. Oh, I do remember this now. Wow. Okay. Would you like X or O? I will take X. Will you go first? Yes, I will. Okay, so I do kind of remember this now. You just hit numbers. 5. Okay. 9. I love the delay, as if the computer's taking the time to think. I think the delay is purposely programmed in. 4. It's going to choose 6. Okay, well, I don't know. How about 2? Yeah, it looks like it's not programmed to make any mistakes, so. It's a cat game. Another game? Yes. Would you like X or O? Let's be O this time. And no, let's not go first. I like this very, very minimalist tic-tac-toe. It's no accident that I veer towards minimalist games to this day. I have another cat game probably. I think we'll get another cat game here, and then we'll start making mistakes and see what happens when the computer wins. I don't know if it ever lets the player win. I'd be very surprised. Tic-Tac-Toe is so deterministic. It's a cat game again. Yes, another game. Let's do X, and this time we're going to make some purposeful mistakes. So let's do, let's start not in the center, let's start at 2. And 3. And 9. And this time we're going to make a purposeful mistake right here. If you're just tuning in, I'm playing an old Tic-Tac-Toe game from a TI-99 4A cassette tape, Oldies but Goodies Games 1. And I've played a couple rounds already, and I've hit a couple of cat games, tie games, and this time I'm going to make a purposeful mistake to see what happens when the computer wins. I'm not sure the computer ever actually lets the player win. Wait, does it draw? It does draw a line through there. Okay, let's get a screenshot of that. I win. Another game? Yes. Let's do O's. Will you go first? No, because X always goes first, right? I love the time delay built in, as if the computer needs to think about the tic-tac-toe move. Tic-tac-toe is such a finite game, and it's totally deterministic. There's no need for it to think at all. It's just built in. If you're just tuning in, I was saying a minute ago that I like, from a game design standpoint, I like the challenge of minimalist games. It's hard to take even a simple game and make it as elegant as possible. This is about as elegant of a simple tic-tac-toe game as you could imagine. I mean, now, of course, on a touch device, you wouldn't need numbers, but back in the day when you just had keyboard, you had to do something. So given the limitations of the system, this is about as elegant as a tic-tac-toe game could get. Yeah, let's do another one. Let's do X. And we will go first, yes. Let's see if the computer's ever going to let us win, or if it's just deterministic the whole way. I doubt they programmed the computer to make mistakes, but you never know. Uh-oh, maybe. Here we go, look. Maybe they did. There we go. Let's get a screenshot of this. Boom. You win. Yeah, hit me with another one. While we're playing, I like being X. Go first? Yeah. Okay. We're not going to start in the middle this time. We're going to do something different. Not that it really matters. I'm just kind of testing the boundary conditions here. Like the randomized time delay. It's a cat game. I wonder why they call it a cat game. I really don't know. Another game? Yeah. Well, we're playing Tic-Tac-Toe. Why not? I'll do O's this time. No, I won't go first. Is it always going to start in the middle? So far, it has always started in the middle when it's gone first. This was the height of entertainment when I was a kid, circa 1983, 1984, you know? I remember really enjoying the programs on this cassette, although, you know, in retrospect, they're pretty straightforward. The one that on this cassette that's truly ridiculous is the biorhythm game. Pseudoscience hokum. It's a cat game. Okay, this time we're going to mix it up a little bit. Yeah. X's are O. I think, let's do X. Let's not go first, which is not traditional. But let's just see what it does. Okay, it's going to be O. And I'm going to choose, no, let's say 1. I think, as you can see, there's only so much to see here. It's just a tic-tac-toe game. I did manage to win one, though, so I must make some mistakes. I like the use of contrasting colors here as well. You know, primary colors are always a good look. It's a cat game. Yeah, why not? Let's play one more. It's been a while. Okay, let's do O. And yeah, let's go first. And we're going to do something totally different here. Let's start with number 4. Just to see what it does. And let's go with number 1. Excuse me. Number 3. Another cat game. It's a cat game. Another game? What happens when we hit no? It just ends the program? bye. Such a friendly system. I like, back then they made an attempt to make computers friendly and have a kind of voice of their own, and TI did a pretty good job with that, even in these simple programs. I'm going to run it again, but as you can see, there's not much to see here. It's just a tic-tac-toe game, so I'm not going to belabor this one, but I did want to get a little bit of a stream in. There are some other programs on this cassette, Oldies but Goodies Games 1. It's got number search, a word search, and I think another little math game called Factor Foe, if memory serves. So at some point I'll do streams and videos on the other programs in this on this cassette. And then there's an Oldies but Goodies Games 2, which I believe I had, but I don't remember it nearly as clearly as I remember this. So stay tuned for those. I'm also doing a lot of TI-99 4A type-in programs from computer books and computer magazines and computer users group newsletters from the late 1970s all the way through the 1980s and into the 1990s. I'm kind of just doing random choices at this point, whatever strikes my fancy. But in any case, if you happen to be catching me streaming live on Twitch, be sure to say hi in the chat and or participate as you see fit. And be sure to check out the rest of my YouTube channel for archives of all my past live streams and quite a few different topics. A lot of TI-99 4A content these days, some retro programming, retro gaming, miscellaneous educational videos, and a wide variety of topics of interest to me, both professionally and personally. And quite a bit of World of Warcraft streaming these days, and same thing on Twitch. I'm doing live streams and all the above, and whichever platform you're on, be sure to check me out on the other platform. But in any case, I really appreciate likes and follows, and especially subscriptions, all of which help me out greatly in these challenging and troubling financial times. Okay, it looks like I might win this one, so here we go. We'll end on a high note and win with a victory here, end with a victory. I appreciate everyone watching this very short stream of this very simple TI-99 4A game, Tic-Tac-Toe from Oldies but Goodies Games 1. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you soon in the next video.